Welcome to this special edition of the Ultimate Combat Experience. I'm Mike Stidham. We continue our look back at days gone by in the Ultimate Combat. We're going to look at the best knockouts that have happened in the UC. We're on episode 8 of who knows how many. We're still digging through all the archives. And today, though, we found some guys we haven't seen in a while. The Barlow brothers, the most beautiful men in MMA. Take little naps in this one. But you're going to stick around because the Bird Dog does his thing. We got a lot more before we get to that, though. It's the Ultimate Combat Experience KO edition coming right at you. Things started with the big guys. Both these guys are making their debut in the cage, and one of them went on to make a little bit of a name for himself here in the UC, and the other just kind of faded into the woodwork, and that's what happens when you get knocked out. Heavyweight, no holds barred, KO edition. Check it out. Just a correction on that, these guys are not light heavyweights, these are full-on heavyweights, Johnny.
Full-on heavyweights, Mike. Sean O.C. O'Connell, last time we got in here, Mike the Kid. He'll tell you, hey, I'm not training as much as I should be, but I'm physical, I'm an athlete, I can adapt to any situation, whether it's the fight game, on the football field, anywhere. I'm just an all-around tough guy.
Johnny, he's a powerhouse at 6'1", 220.
Well, the first thing you can expect is that, I mean, I'm going to fight hard. I expect whoever I'm fighting to fight hard. That's why we're here. And as far as game plan and everything, once someone starts hitting you and you start hitting them, everything changes. But we're going to be fighting. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good match. This dude, I hear good things about him, and I'm really excited about this, and I feel like I'm in shape, ready to go, and I want to hurt somebody. As far as preparation, you know, I've been training a little harder even than I did for my first fight. Just trying to get that cardio better than it was, and even some technique, you know, better than it was. You can always get better, and I'm trying to do that. My only message to him is that, you know, come out and be ready to fight, because he's never been challenged before, and I'm going to challenge him, and I'm going to win.
Boy, the OC's not short on words, Johnny.
No, Mike, I like that about him, Mike. He's giving you the insight on exactly what he thinks about this fight. Look, it's exciting. Kenneth Worth's never been challenged. I'm going to challenge him tonight. And you're right, man. Game plan or not, when you get in there and start punching, it goes out the window.
Some of these guys are duds. They got nothing to say. He had plenty. Kenneth Worth has plenty to say with his fists as well. 6'6", 215.
Well, when I step in the cage, I like to bring some action. You're going to see a fighter who's aggressive, who's got some heart, who doesn't mind getting hit in the face either. If that means putting on a good show to take some shots so I get some blood on the crowd, I'll do it. And as far as the fight's going to go tonight, I'm going to knock him out. That's just how I come to do it. I can submit him if I want. I'm going to try and get that out of my mind, and I want him unconscious. I don't want to be rude, but I'd like to see him unconscious and piss himself. Why I'm going to win? There's no guarantees. There's no paper champs here. I want to work my way up. He's a tough guy. He seems to have a lot of heart, and that's what we're looking for here, is a guy who won't give up and will fight back. So no guarantees, but I believe I have a lot more in the arsenal. My punching, my elbows, my knees, my kicks, my ground game. Smarter. Nothing against him. He may be brilliant in the books, but I got more in the fight.
Usually when we interview guys, Johnny, that cage isn't so far down behind him. It's it's a big kid.
Yeah, 6'6", Mike, and I'm telling you, if anybody that knows how to train, it's Kenneth Worth. He spends his time in the gym getting better. The guy's a family man, Mike, but right now training is almost priority for him.
Well, no doubt about it. But this Sean O'Connell has no fear, man. He wants these big guys. He says, I'm in the heavyweight division. I don't want to lose 10 pounds and go light heavy. I want to fight heavyweight.
And you see right there, man, big Kenneth Worth lands a pretty big shot, Mike, then follows it up with a pretty solid knee. But Sean O'Connell just coming right at him, not stopping.
Boy,
and a big left!
Man, I think, wow, he just cracked him a good one. That was a solid shot on the chin of Kenneth Worth, and he wisely takes down Sean O'Connell.
Yeah, Mike tries to get the takedown out of pure defensive instinct right there, because he was rocked. and then hits Sean O'Connell with a nice right. And this is what I like to see, Mike. Two big guys in there just mixing it up.
Boy, they are mixing it up.
Oh!
Oh, man.
Oh, my.
Another left hand sends Kenneth Wirfs down to the canvas for good this time. He's not getting up anytime soon.
Oh, my gosh. Sean O'Connell with a huge shot. Knocks Kenneth Wirfs into the position Kenneth wanted to knock Sean O'Connell into. I don't know if we see any piss, but he surely did knock him out.
Well, he's got some blood coming from underneath both eyes. That was a huge left hand, Johnny, and that is it.
That's it, Mike. Fight over. Wow, Kenneth Wirfs is in just as amazed as we are, but Sean O'Connell, man, did exactly what he came to do, and that's win.
The OC is the real deal. As many of you know, Sean O'Connell went on to win quite a few fights in the UC. That was the way he got started. But there's a couple other guys that you might recognize. Tim the Pimp Peacock going up against Eli Bitz. We're going to keep it up with the big guys.
Couple of heavyweights of NHB. Timmy Peacock will be out here in a minute, but first out's going to be Eli Bitz.
A super tall heavyweight. This guy's 6'6". Ought to be playing basketball somewhere, but instead he's coming into the ropes to see what he can do. And I don't know that our ceiling clearance is high enough for this guy, Tim.
He's only listed at 6'5", 220 pounds, Kaysville, Utah. Street fighter and Big Daddy stepping in here today. He's going to meet some heavy hands on the other side of this. He says he's watched the TV show, watched it, liked it, now he wants to do it.
Well, I watched Ultimate Combat a couple weeks ago, and after that I just had to be part of it. Well, I train at the Northern Connection, and the boys there keep me in shape, and it's just really enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. Can't be sitting at home on the couch. We've both been training hard. We're both good fighters, and the best man's going to win.
He'll take on a tough one tonight. Tim Peacock, one of those guys, Mike, that's been around Ultimate Combat almost as long as the show's been around.
Well, Tim is nowhere near 6'6" tall, but he is a stout kid. He's almost as big wide as he is tall.
5'10", 220 pounds, lists his tactics as ground and pound, and as the Pimp gets in here tonight, he was joking with us before the matchup, saying that he knows he needs a little help, maybe some elevator shoes, just to get to the chin of his opponent at 6'6".
He's got that fake sweat on his shirt there.
Sitting on the couch, watching it. No. I've been training again, and back here, gonna try and do this thing, another round, so. Well, I'm hoping Johnny Ritchie will get in there so I can stand on his shoulders to hit this guy. He's pretty tall, so. I think experience does. I think that, you know, the lights are gonna get to him, especially because of his height. So, yeah. That's my opinion. I got experience. He doesn't. But, you know, we'll see. He looks pretty tough, so.
Standing on Johnny Ritchie's shoulders ain't going to help you.
I'm not going to get you up there.
Maybe if you laid down and you stood on his belly, you might be getting a little better.
Yeah, I thought for a minute there that Peacock had colored his hair, but maybe it was just the lights in the interview room. As we get ready to go here, 3 3-minute rounds scheduled, and Ethan Andrews drops the hand, and we're underway. I'll tell you what, Bitz didn't waste any time looking for Peacock over in the corner there.
Well, and he just found Tim Peacock. Oh, my goodness. Tim Peacock is Tim Burr. He went down and went down hard.
He's just taking a barrage of punches here, and just like that, Ethan Andrews is going to step in, or is he?
Yeah, he stepped in and stopped this thing as Tim Peacock's still trying to get after Eli Bitz. He has that fight instinct in him. You can see there. I don't think he was really conscious, and he was still going after his opponent.
No, and he didn't want to let go. Let's watch it again on Crush Combat Cam. Bang! Just like that.
Brought to you by criminal defense attorney David W. Brown. Boy, he did take a big right-hand shot that buckled his legs and sent him to the canvas. I'm not sure he knew where he was at right here. I think it was an excellent stoppage by Ethan Andrews.
It really was, and you see Peacock looking over with a smile at Ethan saying, I was okay, man, but he'll be watching this on video and saying, maybe not. Eli Big Daddy Bitz picks himself up a victory.
Tim the Pimp, go night-night, take a little nap right there. When we come back, we're going to see kickboxing. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. As promised, we're going to take a look at some kickboxing matches, and these are two guys that did a lot of kickboxing in the UCE. Ivan Taylor did a little bit of different training. He changed up the size of beer that he would drink. Going up against the postman, Adam Faulkner. Check it out. For the first time ever in the Ultimate Combat Experience, we're going to do a Muay Thai match between Ivan Taylor and Adam Faulkner. Ivan Taylor, we know this kid as a guy that likes to throw a lot of bombs, but he says he likes to grab onto his opponent as well. So this really is right down his alley.
Absolutely, Mike. We said a little bit before how he doesn't really like to go to the ground. He'd rather stay up and throw leather and throw elbows and throw knees. I'm real excited about this fight. I think there's a lot of people in the crowd that are ready to see a Muay Thai fight as well.
Ivan Taylor's 5'11", 140 pounds, and he says he learned how to hold on to people at the last hoedown he was in Utah County there.
I'm basically fighting the fight I want. Stand up, it's all stand up. I can use my knees, I can grab. It's my skill, I guess I would say, so that's what I want. Well, last time I stepped in the ring, I lost. I went ahead and changed my 12-ounce cans to the 40s so I work out a little bit better when I'm drinking my beer, and I changed my potato chips to Pringles. That grease was just getting too bad on my shirt. I think Adam's a good fighter. He beat me at NHB. Of course, I'm a totally different fighter now from then. I just figured I'd give him a shot. We'll see what happens.
It's a very interesting strategy there, Johnny Ritchie, going for the 40 ounces instead of the 12 ounces. He also says he started dating heavier women as well.
Hey, you know what? I've actually had a chance to meet his wife, going back to the comment you said earlier, and I tell you, if there's anyone going to be in a hoedown, I'd like to be in a hoedown with his wife.
Okay, well, Adam Faulkner goes about 5'6", 150 pounds. Maybe it was him that started dating the heavier women.
Adam Faulkner, you never know. But this guy spends a lot of time in the gym, Mike. We know him and love him as the Postman.
Well, we're going to do a Muay Thai rules fight, which involves knees. You can clinch up, which we haven't been able to do before. So we can kind of, you know, maybe not quite as exciting. So we'll be able to hold a little bit. But when those knees start flying, it will be a lot more exciting for us. Last time I was in the ring wasn't a real great experience for me. I lost pretty quick, so I just went back to the drawing board, started training hard again, and, you know, picked up this kickboxing fight, which is what I do best anyway. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Well, I think Ivan Taylor's a tough kid. I mean, you know, he's scrappy. He comes out, throws a lot of punches. You know, but I think my conditioning's a little better, and I just think my training's a lot better. I've done a lot more hours in the gym than he has, and I think that'll take over in the later rounds, and I think I'll put him away.
You know, Johnny, it's interesting that Adam mentions there, he tried and tried and tried to get people to come fight him in kickboxing. He had to go over and try NHB. Didn't quite work out for him. So now he's kind of coming down the middle with Ivan Taylor, doing a Muay Thai match.
Well, it's just funny because the guy that he beat in NHB, the only guy that he beat in NHB was Ivan Taylor, put him in an arm bar. So, you know, this fight is really going to be one of these interesting matches to see really what happens between these two very different fighters.
You know what's really cool about this, though, is I really like it every time Ivan Taylor fights because he brings a really good crowd, but so does Adam Faulkner. So we've got a really raucous crowd in here. Whoa, my goodness! And just gave the raucous crowd something to cheer for. This fight is over. Whoa. Adam Faulkner is unsteady on his feet, to say the least. He looks like you after about a six-pack, Johnny Ritchie, and this fight's over, and what a stunner!
We didn't even get a chance to see him clinch up or throw knees or elbows. He landed that right hook, and it knocked Adam out. He was literally out.
Muay Thai, nothing. They were supposed to clinch a knee and throw elbows. The funny thing is Adam Faulkner's complaining about the stoppage, but I think when he sees this at TV, he's not going to complain about anything. You see here in your Crush Combat Cam, brought to you by Mountain High Motorsports. It was just a short little left hook that dropped Adam Faulkner, and he's not quite sure where he's at.
He's not quite sure where he's at. Ethan steps in there and just says, "You're over, buddy. It's over."
You know what? I love Adam Faulkner. I hate to see him look like this, but hey, Ivan Taylor has paid his dues and really has earned the right to be the lightweight kickboxing champion.
Mike, you know, the thing I've noticed is that they're all undefeated on the street. That's the story we get every time they come into the ring.
You know, Tim, I'm trying to find out where these guys are that they keep beating up, because all the guys in our tournament are undefeated on the street, and I don't know any of them who lose.
We don't give this guy real high marks for creativity with the nickname. The little ball of fury is Clifton Hampton.
And rumor has it the little ball of hate's not so happy about the knockoff here and says he wants to get in the ring with him next round and settle the score here.
5'7", 185 pounds. Let's see what he had to say going into tonight's matchup.
I've just been working out a lot, pounding the bags, the hard bags, and just been keeping myself in shape. I took Taekwondo for 2 years and wrestled in high school for all 4 years. I'm just thinking best of luck, best man win, man. That's it.
He doesn't have much to say. He's a loss of words there, Robert.
He doesn't have much street. street talk in him, I guess.
He came in with some stars on the shorts.
Just blew Robert a kiss there, I think.
He went for the red, white, and blue headgear tonight. He's going to need all that help to take on the Red Devil, Jason Shoultz, I'll tell you that.
Hey, this is a cool kid. He brought a whole bunch of people here to support him tonight. He's a construction worker, and the whole crew's out here giving him love and support tonight.
6'2", 185 pounds, a kickboxer out of Salt Lake City, and you can hear most of those friends and maybe even some family gathered just there ringside to cheer him on.
I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. I'm a true and true devil dog. Mean and tough, mostly street fighting. Learned some hand-to-hand when I was in the Marine Corps. Other than that, not much. I wish him the best of luck. I hope he guards himself.
I think Jason Shoultz is going to lay a lick in here to the old street fighter unless he protects himself.
Well, they're both street fighters, so we'll see if one of these guys come out not undefeated anymore in their street fight career.
And sometimes when these kinds of matchups happen, we get some pretty unorthodox style, but we'll see what happens as we get underway. Right now, Clifton doing a lot of covering up.
Well, you can see some unorthodox style definitely right here in the onset. Clifton Hampton ducking and punching.
Yeah, he's using the wrong mentality. He's ducking and getting hit, not ducking and hitting.
Jason Shoultz, by all accounts, just looking at it, should have a huge advantage height and reach-wise.
Yeah, he should get that front hand out there working his jab and establishing that distance so he can follow up with those bigger punches from behind.
Well, you look at Clifton, he puts a head down and just barrels forward, and if the fighter on the other side was a little better trained and ready, well,
Clifton Hampton got knocked down with a jab.
I was going to say that's what would happen. A little uppercut while the head's down, and this one might be over a whole lot quicker. Look at Clifton, says, I'm ready. I know I was down on the mat, but I'm ready to go.
He's ready to go again.
Boy. And Clifton steps inside, but boy, Jason not taking advantage of much of anything, throwing some punches.
You know, we're outdoors here and hope one of those big insects don't land on Clifton and knock him down again.
Watch out for the June bugs, huh? Oh, there's a left hand that stumbled in.
That knocked him.
Got to give the guys credit for getting inside the ropes here. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. This is finals night, and Clifton Hampton, he's bringing up one end of the bracket, and looks like he's done.
You know what?
He
felt that left hand, and Jason figures he's now king of the mountain. But Jason, you can tell, has got a long way to go if he's going to step in with a...
Fultz is in his corner. That's where he got the hurry and fall down.
With 16 weight classes, this is one of them that didn't have many people in the weight class. You can see on your Mountain High Motorsports Combat Camp, the jab that rocked the world. I think an insect landed on Clifton and rocked him again, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, we apologize for making you watch that again in slow motion. Jason the Red Devil Shoultz. He's got the look. He just needs a little bit more time in the training, I think.
Well, they can't all be doozies, but these guys get out and do their thing, and really that's what this show is all about. That first time we're coming in here cutting their teeth. When we come back, we got a guy that cut a lot of teeth, Jeff Moody, when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. We're shifting gears back into MMA, and these are a couple guys we saw quite a bit of. Jeff Moody and Kelton. Check it out. Well, for clarification purposes, Johnny Ritchie, Jeff Moody actually has been in the ring before. He's a kickboxer. Never done MMA before, but he has had several kickboxing matches, and he's famous for knocking people out and knocking people out in the first round.
He's intimidating, Mike. He scares me a little bit.
You know what, Johnny? He's a social worker.
You're lying.
I'm telling you what, you'd never guess in a million years.
So full
the guy's
of it.
a social worker turned fighter, but he's a hell of a fighter.
He's setting some families straight, I bet.
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as a powerful fighter. I want to make my shots count. I want every shot to count, and I want to put the hurt on real quick. I want it a lot more than you do. Look in my eyes, I want it.
See, he was trying to hypnotize you right there, Johnny.
Man, I'm telling you what, I follow that guy's rules.
Yeah.
Man, he is, and he talks about power, and to look at the kid and hear the people that he trains with, how explosive that he really is. These guys can't really fully spar with him because he about knocks their head off.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, that's kind of the same thing up at that Moody Academy. All those guys are tough. We've not seen Kelton yet, but we've seen what the Moody Academy has produced, and they're all tough guys.
I've been training pretty hard for the last year, and I just wanted to make sure that I was good to go before I came down. I like my jiu-jitsu, but there's a lot more that comes with it. I'm not going to lose. I'm going to let it all happen right up there in that cage, and we'll see how it goes.
Johnny, this is exciting. We've got a couple of first-timers and a main event, and it looks like both these guys deserve to be here.
Well, look at right there. I mean, look, they're not afraid to. Kelton saying, "Bring it on," and Moody gives him a little shove.
Wow, a little shove
It's
there.
intense right now. It's intense inside this cage.
You know, Jeff Moody has been scheduled to fight a few times. His opponent has either not shown up or other things have happened, and he's finally here in the ring, finally going to get it going. And wow, he takes a couple shots early on by Jarrett Kelton.
And big knees.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? Wow, Jarrett Kelton. I thought he was going to come out and grapple him. I was just about to say this is a tale of the tape where you got a boxer versus a jiu-jitsu guy, but Kelton came out and surprised me.
Kelton's got some stand-up game, and he was not afraid to use it. Came out here right off the bat and took the fight to Jeff Moody. A lot of people are afraid of Jeff Moody, and you see Jarrett Kelton obviously isn't.
He isn't. And right now he's looking for a position, you know, crawling up the body.
Of some sort, yeah.
Not just sitting there being...
he's not hanging out here.
No, not at all.
He wants to finish this kid, and you know, Jeff Moody has been doing some ground himself. He's been working on his ground game. He's a kickboxer turned MMA fighter, but he didn't turn MMA overnight. He started doing some ground quite some time ago.
Sure. And I think that's what he's going to have, Mike, to really advance inside this tournament, because this weight class is pretty stacked. I mean, once you look into the finals, you're going to get a lot of guys in there, Mike, that have been in this fight position before and have the ground game to back it up.
No, absolutely. Kelton, though, doing a nice job looking for arm locks or triangles, really trying to set something up, and Moody's just not giving him anything.
Well, Moody's like a square block, Mike. How do you really get an arm on a guy like that? I mean, he's just powerful. He said it best himself. He just is a powerful kid.
If he didn't have that tattoo, I'd buy ad space on his lats, man. He's got plenty of room there to put what you need, man.
But Kelton, there you go right there. I mean, just keep him busy. These guys are both busy. First timers, who would have thought?
You know what they say about guys that put their name on their back, though?
What?
It's there so when you pull your head out of your... You'll know who you are.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I see.
I would never say that to Moody to his face.
Moody either, Mike.
I'd say it from far away, though.
Well, and we are far away. And that's the way to go.
Good strategy, huh? You know what, though, thing about Moody, his arms, people that spar with him, his arms are kind of freaky long. They're deceiving. He can be far away from where you feel you're in a comfortable distance, and he'll reach out and blap you upside your head.
Well, Kelton isn't giving him much room to do that, Mike. He's keeping him squirrels in pretty tight, not giving him the space that Jeff Moody does need to strike to the body or to the head. But Jeff looks like he's, you know, maybe using the cage to his advantage. I thought maybe he'd crowd him up a bit more against the cage. He hasn't done that yet, but I think he will in time.
He's fighting a little more defensively than I expected to see out of Jeff Moody, and that goes for on his feet as well as on the ground here. Really hasn't opened up, but as we mentioned, he's not making any mistakes either, leaving anything behind.
Well, Mike, and that might be because Jarrett Kelton came out and surprised him, you know, came out and landed 3 or 4 shots and really took the fight to Jeff instead of Jeff taking the fight to him.
I'm a little surprised they haven't been stood up, I should say. A little quicker. Well, right there, he made a mistake, and Jarrett Kelton almost capitalized on it. Darn near got an arm lock there, and Lonnie Foster's now going to step in and say, let's get you both up on your feet and get going here, guys.
This is what Moody likes to be, crowding, but they're Kelton right there. Wow, I'm going to take it to you. I
got to tell you something. Kelton, man, I was just going to say, you don't want to leave your hands down like that.
He is rocked.
And he was punching and dropping his hands, and you don't want to do that with Jeff Moody because he will make you pay.
Man, he is stoked. Who would have thought, Mike, in the last 2 seconds he gets the knockout?
But look at his hands are down right here, man. Well, that was the start of the fight there. Where Jarrett Kelton came out on fire and really landed some big shots to start things off, pulled him down into his guard, and really controlled the tempo of the fight till right at the very
end.
There.
And then he is out, Mike. He was
out before he hit the ground.
Holy cow, Jeff Moody, power.
That's what Jeff Moody does to people. He knocks people out, man. And he knocked out a pretty tough kid, as we saw here in Jarrett Kelton tonight. No mercy, showing no mercy in that one. Those gorilla arms, man, they hit you from anywhere. When we come back, we got a couple of very beautiful brothers that very, very competitive. Well, they both get knocked out. We're going to see who gets knocked out the fastest. The Barlow brothers when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. As promised, we're going to take a look at the Barlow brothers. Now, these are the only guys that I know that used to wax their eyebrows before their fights. Beautiful guys. We're going to see who gets knocked out the fastest. Garrett Barlow is up first.
And this main event has all the makings of being a great one as the Obliviator comes in to take on the Devil Dog tonight, and here comes Mr. Barlow.
And it's almost unfortunate, Tim, that these guys are meeting so early in the round because these are two really good guys, but there's a lot of really good guys in this weight class.
The Barlow brothers, though, have had their share of trouble as of late and hopefully have turned things around by working harder in the gym and working on some of the skills that they really need. 6'3", 180 pounds. You see his record there of 4 wins and 2 losses, coming in representing Slam Inc. tonight. But he comes in still looking for that championship cup. He's never won it.
What motivates me is I'm here to be the best that I can be, and I want to take this tournament. I've gotten close. I went to the finals round 9, and I lost, but it's not going to happen again this time. What I do to train is I go down to Jiu Gym. It's a new gym I've been going to, and it's great. I've been learning a lot of Muay Thai. I've been working in the ring. If you fight in the ring, you got to train in the ring. That's as simple as that. I'm going to beat Dustin tonight because I'm just going to go right through him. I'm going to murder him. It's as simple as that.
Well, that's pretty big talk for taking on a guy like Dustin Gulleson, and here comes the Devil Dog, another one of those Mushin self-defense boys.
It's big talk, but he can pretty much back it up. He's been training with some good guys, you know, Phil Henderson and the Janjura guys. He's really done what it takes to get better, but Dustin Gulleson is training with a lot of really good guys. Everybody out of that Mushin group seems to be just tougher than nails.
5'10", 165 pounds. He's from Layton, Utah, and here's a guy that comes in with a full arsenal, and believe me, he plans on using them all on Garrett Barlow tonight.
What motivates me to get in this ring and fight is just the sport, pure aspect of just seeing what other guys has and, you know, seeing what you got. Well, I train up in Mushin self-defense, and my strategy for tonight is just go in there, kick them, knees, punches, elbows, just what a Thai boxer would do. I heard he's starting to Muay Thai, so it's going to be a good fight. Well, I'm going to beat him. I don't know why I'm going to beat him, but I just know I'm better at him. I'm better than him on the ground, standing, whatever, in the clinch. Don't matter where I'm at.
On paper, Mike, wouldn't you give the advantage to Garrett Barlow on the feet and Gulleson if they happen to go down on the mat?
Absolutely not, actually. That Gulleson is pretty tough on his feet, too. Muay Thai is something that takes a little while to get good at, and you're not going to take a few classes and expect to rise to that level. You can see Gulleson's got some beautiful kicks and some really nice Muay Thai technique himself, but as you mentioned, he's also really good on the ground.
He's not going to waste any time in getting there either, and immediately shoots in there and gets Garrett Barlow down on the mat. And you see Barlow, I think, trying to climb up the body, but you're not going to do that all that easily on Gulleson.
This is where I think Barlow really has improved. He really didn't have a whole lot of submission skills, but look how he's good he's getting from with the guard. He's climbing up the body. He's looking for an arm lock right early on here. It looks like he's got one on.
He does. Let's see what Dustin does with it, however. He momentarily picked Garrett all the way up off of the mat there, and now they're in a precarious spot.
Tim, Dustin Gulleson's in a lot of trouble. And once again, this is where Garrett Barlow really has gotten better. He didn't have a whole lot of good submission. He's got a nice arm lock on here. Were it not for the fact that Gulleson is just one tough kid, I think most kids would have been tapping on that.
And he gets out of that hold, and I was wondering how long Lonnie was going to let them lie there in those ropes. That's a tough decision for a referee because you see somebody with a possible submission on, but they're awfully tied up in the ropes. They both get out of it, however.
And you have to let that go when you're near submission like that. Lonnie does a great job of letting the action continue, and now let the fighters determine what happens in the fight. Gulleson's now in a superior position. Let's see what he does with it. Although, man, I cannot believe he was able to thwart that arm lock.
Now he starts to work on looks like a shoulder lock of some kind coming on here.
He's looking for an arm lock himself, but he's really not doing. He's not now looking for a key lock, but it looked to me like he gave up good positioning and really concentrating on that arm and not really what I would have expected to see out of him, and now he finds himself underneath the apparently much larger Garrett Barlow.
And again, this might be another sign of the work that Garrett Barlow has put in. He does appear to have gotten a little more savvy on the ground and finds himself in a better position here, although he's still within the guard of Dustin.
Well, you know, he's beaten the kid at what he wasn't expected to beat him at. He's actually out-grappled him thus far and done a really nice job. You see Gulleson trying to pin that arm down so he can get a triangle choke on, but he's aware of that. And before, Garrett Barlow wasn't aware of times where he was almost in trouble. He's done a good job thus far of thwarting a couple of submission attempts by Dustin Gulleson.
And now they're going to trade submission attempts here. It looks like they both have each other's ankle, and you see another attempt on the part of Garrett Barlow here to put on a submission hold.
Both looking for ankle locks, as you said. This Gulleson is just toughing out a couple of these and landing a couple of big shots. And wow, he's nailed. I think Garrett Barlow's out.
Yeah, Lonnie better step in here. A couple of those punches found their target, but
still doesn't know where he's at. He's fighting Lonnie Foster.
Oh, yeah, Garrett thinks Lonnie happens to be Gulleson and continues to fight ahead. I don't think he's even aware he was out, but I think it was about the third punch in that flurry from Dustin, and Garrett was out, at least momentarily.
Boy, I don't think people realized that Garrett was out. He wasn't in a position to be hurt. It didn't seem. He had a hold of Gulleson's foot, and he's still saying
those lips.
I was out. I don't think he even realized he was out. Now he's starting to come right back, too. You see here in your Crush Combat Cam, brought to you by the Eagle Sentinel, where, wow, look at Garrett Barlow putting on a beautiful arm lock to get things started, but Gulleson just toughed it out.
And there was the second submission attempt with that ankle lock. And here comes that left hand, 1-2, and I think that one right there, Garrett's out.
He went limp there, and then he got stiff as a board, and Lonnie Foster, right on top of things, steps in and saves any more damage.
Like you said, it's too bad these guys had to meet so early in the round. Both great fighters, but one wins tonight. That's Dustin, the Devil Dog Gulleson. Congratulations.
One Barlow down, the other one lining up. Zach Barlow against Vita Taufa.
Your main event tonight, as you just heard, NHB light heavyweights, Zach Attack Barlow against Mani Tavita Taufa.
Zach Attack Barlow, who needs no introduction, but you almost don't recognize him from one time you see him to the next because he's a small Zach Barlow, then he's a really big Zach Barlow.
Yeah, I wondered because he does look a lot bigger. And look at that, 195 pounds, 6 feet tall from Kaysville, Utah, has a wrestling jiu-jitsu background and has really had a tough go of it. Both of the Barlow brothers have had a tough go of it the last little while, but there you see as he takes off that shirt, he's really beefed up from his last appearance, a big loss to Big J.
The Incredible Hulk there.
The last time I stepped in the ring was with Justin Wright, and it wasn't a pretty sight. It was a really bad fight on my part. He did really good. I was really small. I was really weak. I weighed about 175, and now I'm weighing about 198. So I've been in the gym hitting it hard. I got my strength back. I'm ready to go. Tonight's going to be the same old thing, rush and crush. People love it, and it works for me, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I am training with the toughest guys in Utah. I'm training with the Murderer, the Obliviator. I'm training with Jake Paul. All these guys, we go in there and we get it done. We practice hard and we get all messed up, and that's how we do it. He's good. He's pretty solid. I think I got a lot of endurance on him. I don't think he's very seasoned as far as a full fight goes, so I'm going to hopefully use that against him. I've been in the game a while. I know how it goes and what it feels like, so we'll see how it goes.
You know, that fluctuating weight can actually come back to bite you, can it?
Yeah.
One fight to the next.
But he's training with the toughest guys, anyway, he's fighting Mani tonight. Mani's a tough guy, and so I expect to see good things out of him, even though he's only had one fight. He seems very, very composed and comfortable in the ring.
6 feet, 185 pounds. He did win that first appearance at Ultimate Combat, and says he's going to take whatever comes here tonight. As a matter of fact, I think he puts it, whatever happens, happens, and relieves his stress by watching TV.
Whatever happens, happens, and yeah, whatever happens, happens. I like to run a lot and try to relieve stress by watching TV. I would like to just punch the guy and try to knock him out. Oh, Zach Barlow, yeah, Zach Barlow.
You know, he looks at things very simply, you know. I'm just going to punch him and knock him out.
I'm not sure he even knew who he was fighting tonight.
Then I'm going to go home and watch some TV.
Yeah. Well, you see he's going to have a height and reach advantage on Zach Barlow there, as Ethan Andrews, who's been a busy man tonight, stands in and will be the third man in the ropes for your main event.
Well, this is going to be a good one. As I said, Zach attacked Barlow. Usually comes right on the attack and didn't quite do that. Maybe he saw what Vita can do with that big right hand.
Yeah, and he just about ate that big right hand trying to get in. Zach needs to get in and take a takedown, but boy, he ate a big knee there.
That was a big knee, and it rocked Zach Barlow for just a minute, and Zach Barlow wisely wraps him up and takes him down. This is where Zach's going to have the advantage. He's been on the ground a little bit more than Vita. Now he's got full mount position.
All night long, we've been talking about the experience and the difference that makes. Zach Barlow's the guy with the experience here, and it's making a difference early on in this match.
Vita's eating a couple of big shots here, and it's thank God for that little slippery shirt he's got, because it slid right out of the ring.
Boy, we talked about that knee. I can't tell from that angle, but it looks like the left eye of Zach really has a nasty mouse there, maybe a cut that could be opened up.
Zach has a tendency to duck his head when he punches on his feet, and he did that just there, just missed Vita, but this is where Zach will get you again. He squeezes you, and he got that body lock on and got the big takedown.
And they're right back up against the ropes again, and you see Monty with his head stuck under the bottom rope. Now, at the encouragement of Ethan, they swing around and move back toward the center of the ring.
Well, Monty's showing great presence of mind, though. He was actually looking up at his corner to get advice there, and again, that's composure that you just don't see from a guy who's only had one fight.
You see Zach sit up and start to aim that right hand, throwing some big bombs there. There's always a lot of power coming behind it.
Well, Zach making the mistake this time of not looking to improve position first. Last time he was very patient. He got full mount position, then rained down those big punches, and this time he's content to fight out of Vita's guard, which in my opinion is a little bit of a mistake.
And Vita just hanging on here. Now Zach Barlow sits up, but again, he's not trying to better that position. He figures he's going to do his damage from right here.
And Tim, this is my opinion. Some people like to fight out of the guard. Some people prefer that. My personal preference is I think you need to get out of that position. Then you'll have more effectiveness on those punches. Right now, you're just swinging with upper body. If you get up on get full mount, then you've got your entire body weight behind those punches.
Speaking of getting out of that position, you see Vita's the guy trying to do that. He tried to work his way out to the side so that he could get a reversal on Zach Barlow. 45 seconds left in this first round.
And the slippery shirt pays off again. They go out of bounds and they're back up on their feet. And now he landed a big punch, and Zach Barlow is out.
And you see Ethan step in there to save the day. Vita just continued to throw punches, and Ethan knew after that first bomb that it was over.
Oh, he was out like a light, and he hit the canvas very hard. I hope that Zach Barlow's okay, because there's his mom there, and you can tell she's concerned as well.
Well, I think it was the last matchup where she saw his brother actually get hit and go down. And as a mother, this has got to be tough sitting ringside. But you can see Zach is semi-alert. I was going to say alert, but maybe he's not.
Well, you look at his eyes, he's not completely sure where he's at, but he took a shot, and you see the Slam Inc. crew there. They're very concerned. These guys are a very close, tight-knit group, and when you see one of your guys go down like that, it can be very frustrating. You see Dad consoling little brother, and little brother says, I've been there before just recently.
And Zach just moving that jaw around to make sure everything's still connected, but we're going to see it one more time.
See you on your Crush Combat Cam, brought to you by Beehive Bell Bonds, where Zach Barlow did a nice job early on, got the takedown, got full mount position, and gave Vita some punishment right off the bat. But the slippery shirt saved the day, and then we got back up and went back to the ground one more time.
Well, here we go. We're going to see that punch here in just a second, sponsored again by Beehive Bell Bonds.
That
Bang.
was a big uppercut. It was a right-hand hook and then an uppercut underneath, and that sent Zach Barlow into la-la land.
So all this talk tonight about experience being the difference in these matchups, it didn't turn out to be that way tonight, and Vita Taofa is going to get his second win at Ultimate Combat, a perfect record of 2-0.
Has to stay perfect. His mom said he can only fight until he loses, so keep it up, Vita. For the record, the Barlows had a lot of highlights in the show. Those just weren't some of them. They got knocked out, but they did their fair share of knocking people out as well. When we come back, we're going to take a look at a guy that did a lot of knocking people out, the Bird Dog, when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. As promised, a guy that made legendary status here in the Ultimate Combat, the Bird Dog, going up against a guy who's coming off a big knockout win the week prior, Mike Platt. It's your main event. Check it out.
It is funny, Mike, how sometimes old neighborhood rivalries and old school rivalries will come back, but here comes James Birdsley. This guy's kind of the Iron Man of this round.
And he just looks mad, doesn't he, Tim? This guy comes in with anger on his face, and when you hear him interview, this guy's got a lot of pent-up anxieties.
5'10", 168 pounds. I say the Iron Man because he's here week in and week out, and he always wants to get in the ring and fight. Tonight he's taking on Mike Platt and reflects back on his last victory, which came fairly quickly, and he sounds like he's going to be a little more, well, patient this time.
Well, we're just going to, work on my quickness a little more, maybe get a little bit more time, because last time it went real quick. Just have fun and hit hard. Well, I hit my bag and I just run 200-yard sprints, and this is all about your sprint strength, so you got to sprint, not jog. Because I got the skills to pay the bills, just like last time.
Well, if he's going to make weekly appearances, he's got to come up with a new line.
Got to come up with new rhymes. Man, that was last week's rhyme. We got to come up with a new one this week. But Mike Igneous Fadius Platt, this kid's a tough kid. He took exception to the fact that I said he had limited submission skills, but he is actually a pretty tough kid.
5'8", 165 pounds. At least we know he's watching the website and getting involved with some of the chat that goes on. As he steps in here tonight, he is an impressive kid, does have some submission skills, but as you said, sounds like he felt like he was slighted a little bit, or at least his skills were, following his last match.
Well, my last fight was against Lucky J, and my limited submission skills, that's what the website said, was too much for him. So, I don't know, I put on an armbar. Tonight, I know he's a wrestler. I don't know if he's ever had an armbar put on him before, but if people keep giving them to me, I'll keep taking them. I coach wrestling, and I've been trying to help them get conditioned for the season, so I've been pushing them as well as myself, and I don't know, lots of sprints, lots of drills, cat-like reflexes.
Well, he's getting better at his interviews, Tim. He's much more comfortable. It's funny that he mentions that he got in shape by helping the East High School wrestling team get in shape. Some of our best fighters in this show have gotten in shape the same way. Robert Densley, Johnny Ritchie. It's kind of it's that time of year where the wrestling teams are going, and these guys are going in there and getting their training on.
Let's see if Birdsley keeps those flying fists slowed down long enough for Platt to be able to lock out an armbar like he wants to. And here come some of those fists we were talking about. A big left hand.
Wow. And Birdsley's carrying his hands down around his waist there. A little cocky there, but he's landed a couple of big shots. Platt got rocked and he got back up though.
Boy, and right there, Birdsley wanted to slam him down to the mat, and look at Birdsley just riding him. He won't let go.
Well, there's that arm lock he's looking for. Platt's got it on right there. Birdsley's going to try to fight it off here, but wow. Not the most orthodox way to get off, but he did.
He had an uncomfortable way to land with your head and neck there on the part of Mike Platt, but I don't know if this is where Platt wants to be against Birdsley. So far, he's had his way, and he's winding that left hand up again.
Well, if you remember, Platt's got some... Oh, my goodness.
He is out.
No sooner did you say it than it was done, boy. Platt ate a big punch from Birdsley, and then he ate the canvas.
Yeah, that'll get a wrestler every time. A big left hand, and he got hit with that one early and often in this fight. And you see the ringside doc taking a look at him there, Dr. Katsiamani. One more time on the replay.
See here in your Crush Combat Cam, brought to you by SellJunk.com. That first time he went to the ground, and then the second time he went to the ground and didn't get back up.
Right there, Birdsley wanted to throw him down, but Platt wasn't going to let him do that. And, of course, Birdsley never slows down with throwing those right and left hands. Gets his arm free here after that armbar submission attempt by Mike Platt, and then stands up just in time to find a left hand.
Take a nap there, Mr. Platt. Well, Platt actually knocked a guy out with a big right hand of his own, and then you live by the punch, you die by the punch, and boy, he sure took a tumble there.
He was out before he hit the ground, and I was wrong. It wasn't a left hand, it was a right hand coming from James Birdsley, and the Bird Dog picks up another victory. Yeah, he'll be back again and probably still be wearing that big smile. This post-fight interview sponsored by Beehive Bell Bonds, because sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Bird Dog, man, how's that feel?
Oh, it feels great, just like last week, man.
It's like when you connect that bat, there's no feeling like it, right?
Hey, that's why I hit the bag for hours, so I can come in here and connect.
All right, well, you got one more next week, and then the East Center, but you gonna come back and do this thing?
Oh, of course.
All right, Bird Dog is gonna come back. You gonna win the middleweight division?
Yes.
Well, not a man of very many words, but Bird Dog, I can't wait to see you fight again, because if nothing else, you're exciting to watch.
Hey, that's what I come to do, is give these people a show, do a little stand-up boxing, maybe take a couple hits, but give the hits, baby, yeah!
All right. That was the shot that vaulted Birdsley into the finals, and really that was the start of his big climb up into the legendary status in the Ultimate Combat. We've got more knockouts. We're still digging through the archives, and we've got episode 9 next week. Please join us next week. I'm Mike Stenton. We'll see you next week on the Ultimate Combat.